Hello there. My name is Ophelia Jr. and I am here with the headliners of their very first Mercury Lounge show. Right, as a headliner, both Juuku and Squired, the dynamic duo that created one of my absolute favorite songs ever since I heard it. Like I heard that, which was "Reaching for You," but now, ever since like I think a few years ago when I saw you, Squired, I think in 2018 when you were opening for Kill Paris, I had to thank you because if it wasn't for you, I would not known this amazing person right here. It was that song "Reaching for You" that kind of like took me down this rabbit hole of Juuku as well, and everything that has been like building up ever since to where we are at right now. I mean, you with your incredible EP, which is Warmth, and of course your incredible work, your incredible remixes. We truly appreciate you so freaking much. And Squired, I mean, I had nothing to say but just this: Adventure Club. High like this with DF Frampton, absolutely freaking incredible. If you had the chance to be on the main stage with them on that day, I'll never forget that moment. But I just want to tell the both of you, thank you so much for blessing us with your incredible music, your incredible work, and for everyone who has been supporting these guys and letting them be blessing your lineups. We truly appreciate you all so freaking much, and we thank you both so freaking much. That much had to get out the way. But first thing I have to ask is this. Well, we'll just go like here and then there. What made you want to enter into the DJ phase of like making your own music?
I mean, when I was a kid, I used to play guitar. I took guitar lessons and drum lessons, and was always into like classic rock, Green Day, All American Rejects, like all that kind of stuff in the early 2000s. And so I guess I was always into music, but then around 2009, discovered, I don't even remember who it was. It was just dubstep. And to me at the time, I didn't like it. It was just interesting. I never heard anything like it. So from there, I sort of explored electronic music. And then when I went to Electric Zoo in 2012, I don't know, just after that, it was sort of like a moment where I just realized I needed to learn how to make music and DJ. It was just like a moment where I knew this is what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. So it bugs in my hair, I don't know.
Okay, I understood it, but that's like how it all like ignited for you.
Yeah, it was just really Electric Zoo was. I always was interested in the idea of going to a show like that. It was crazy to me, but that was the first electronic show I'd ever been to. So it really was just like instantly. I need to learn how to do this.
That is amazing. And is the story similar for you, or was it a bit different?
A little different. Like for me, with music in general, I've used music to share my emotions. I've always a lot of stuff I know a lot of us have, and every time I go through something, I try to find a song that I can identify with. And it was not until like 2018 where I felt I was like probably at one of the lowest parts of my life, and I took a trip to Tokyo, and I was making a little bit of music already during that time, and it was starting to get like emotional, like close to the Juuku sound palette and everything, and the more and more I created that kind of palette, I slowly started to decide that I wanted to make a project. And in Tokyo, in Shinjuku specifically, that's when I decided to create a new project and just to pay homage to the place I was in and name myself.
Right, because like I remember reading this, especially in the Reddit, the aesthetic of like how it looked like was just like really encapsulated you, and you wanted to make something out of that kind of, right?
Yeah.
And that's how like Juuku was born in that moment in time. So I thank so much for both you creating your music, but also I have to ask this. Let's say like to mention emotions, and I think I remember reading that like some of the tattoos you put on yourself represents like some type of emotion. What are you feeling right now, like with you being one of the headliners for Mercury Lounge, and what type of like insignia or sign you could think of that represent that type of emotion now?
Honestly, it's crazy because like me and Sean, like we go way back. He's one of my closest friends here, and I've actually just revealed that I live in New York for the past 5 to 7 years. I just moved out, so coming back here a couple of weeks after I moved is super surreal. Like this feels like kind of like closure. Like it's super bittersweet. Like I'm walking around and seeing all the places I like casually walk through and stuff like that, and just knowing that I'm able to close out New York with a headline show with one of my closest friends here is just surreal.
The emotions like it's surrealism.
Yeah.
And we would also, sorry, I don't mean to, but we would also always talk about like, oh, one day we'll like do a headline show together and like tour and all that sort of stuff. It's like the fact that it's actually happening is just like a full circle coming, because we would always talk about it like 4 years ago. We were talking about this kind of stuff. So like the fact that it's actually happening is
it's absolutely amazing. And is there like something like you can imagine like in your mind that you want to like know if you want to maybe put this in tattoo form, how would you put this? Like being a full circle moment, would it be a circle?
Honestly, if it was a tattoo, if I had to get a tattoo right now, I'd probably get like an island kind of tattoo right now, because I don't know, my emotions are really high on the city. I fucking love the city. The city's just created the person I am right now, and I love every single person in it.
That's amazing. And I have to ask this question because, like I mentioned, my absolute adoration for Reaching For You. How did that song come to be? And if you can tell us, who was the freaking vocalist for that song? I need to know, because that song does things to me I cannot be able to describe. I just need to know the story of that. How like it was, because I think that's the first like collaboration that you both have done, but like how did that like form?
Yeah, sure. So we've worked on a bunch of stuff throughout the years, but it's just funny, like you could be such good friends with someone, but like you work on a bunch of stuff, but only some of the stuff like gets put out. But so that song, I remember the idea that I sent Juuku was like this down-tempo house sort of thing, entirely different, but like the chords and the melody from the breaks in that, Juuku took and turned it into like emotional banger that it is. And the singer on it is Chloe Tang.
Chloe Tang.
Yeah.
That is amazing. And well, to Chloe, thank you so much for like blessing it with your incredible voice, because that like almost like summed it all up to a T. I really do appreciate the song so freaking much. And also, I have to talk about this too, because we're talking like vocalists as well. You mentioned Chloe Tang, but also we have another amazing lady on the lineup too, Danni Carra, and they worked in the song Heard Again. How did that one come to be with you and Maazal?
So we actually, when Maazal was he came to New York from France, from Paris. I forget what year it even was, but he came here and we had like a big meetup with a bunch of people. So Danni came out, and that was the first time that I met her for that. And we all just like met, and we had that track together, but didn't have a vocalist on it yet, and it just sort of made sense. And she's an incredible artist to work with, and usually there's so many vocalists who will just send you vocals, but she does full vocal productions, and it's just so talented in the way, one, for just singing in general, but also the productions and how she is just like easy to work together and just to meld together. And so we also did that song that I did with Yetep, Call It Quits, which Danni also was part of.
On Ophelia Records, absolutely freaking incredible. Continue.
But yeah, no, so that's how we met and came to be, and then we were looking for a vocalist for Call It Quits. I remember Peter Yetep reaching out to me. He's like, I think you know this person. Danni Carra was like, yeah. So I was like, this is perfect though, because she's just amazing to work with. And so then when it came to this show tonight, wanted to make it like a little bit different. Instead of having, just all DJs, it would just she's been on a bunch of like our music, and so it would have been great to have somebody do something a little bit different to open it up and not a normal DJ set. So I'm so excited for what she's going to do tonight.
That is amazing to hear. And speaking, like you mentioned, Call It Quits, which is of course on Ophelia Records. Both of you had some experience with Ophelia Records. You with the Yetep with Call It Quits, and you with Remnant EXE in the Advent, I think Volume 3 or Volume 4.
I think it was Volume 4.
Volume 4. How did it feel for both of you guys to be noticed by Ophelia Records, the record label that's owned by freaking Seven Lions? Was that also kind of like a crazy moment for you guys?
Yeah, for sure. Like, Seven Lions is one of my favorite artists from the beginning of when I started listening to electronic music. Strangers, song
It's still so good.
it's so well right now. Like, I don't think it'll ever like get played out.
It's just
ever.
timeless.
Yeah, and it's crazy because it's progressive house, and obviously there's a lot of really good progressive house, but I feel like that song just goes beyond the genre, and something about the emotions just like captures me no matter what time of year. So yeah, when me and Brendan worked on the track, we've actually been sitting on the track for like 11 months.
Wow.
we've been. I had the demo originally, and I sent it over to him. I think I only have like the verse and the drum, and then he just like crazy on it. He's like one of the most insane producers that I've ever been able to work with, and it's great to see him like start doing visuals as well. He's absolutely killing it. I think he's like probably 20 pounds better than me now, but
I don't know about that. I mean, you both are absolutely amazing with the visuals, but you also have some incredible visual work as well, as we have seen both live and also virtually. Well, I'm talking about like Another World, Electric Hawk. Absolutely such a beautiful experience that was.
Thank you. But yeah, when we collabed, and he pretty much took his own spin on it, and he also played the guitar on the second part, which is insane. Like I didn't even know he played the guitar. I think he does it on which is like it's wild seeing anyone like producing great music. But out of nowhere we got hit up by some Lions label, and we were pretty much down. We got pushed back a couple times, but we were like super excited.
And it's finally out in action on Volume 4, Ophelia Advent Volume 4. So we're just going to wrap this quickly, but I have one question to ask quickly to both of you. If there is an artist you guys want to collaborate with, who would it be? Let's start off with Squired. Who would you want to collaborate with if you can?
Probably ISO. I mean, there's so many artists I'd love to work with, like I could take or something like that.
Or Jules.
And I don't even, I mean, Julian and I, fortunately, that will be the last song that's getting played tonight. But he's the homie. But ISO, I don't know, the stuff that ISO makes is just some of the most inspiring, like high energy, just like refreshing kind of stuff. And he's, after his last show in New York, just like one of the biggest inspirations. So probably ISO, but there's so many artists that I would love to work with.
Well, who's right at the top is ISO.
ISO,
Yeah, and who would you want to collaborate if you could?
Nice. For me, honestly, like it's I've done like 2 or 3 mixes and flips of this song, and I feel like I definitely bring a nice little
I feel like I can only imagine Juuku x Claire Robinson and is like hearing like all of you guys' collaborations come together. I can already hear it already. Put me on like Ableton or FL Studio. Maybe I can like try and find a way to combine the two. But yeah, your flips of Claire Robinson is absolutely incredible. I mean, who could get your flip of Sad Machine? Absolutely incredible. We truly appreciate it. And to both of you guys, I know that Mercury Lounge is going to be the place where you guys are going to freaking throw down. It's going to be such a, like you mentioned, a full circle moment in NYC. So thank you guys so much for blessing us with your sound in NYC. We truly appreciate both of you so freaking much. And I can barely wait to see the worlds of you and you collide together on stage in this back-to-back. It'll be absolutely amazing to see. And thank you guys so much for watching this incredible interview, and please support these incredible artists too, because these guys, I believe, are rising artists, rising legends already in the making, and they just need to be heard. They need to be played out in more places out there than just NYC, like a tour, I don't care, something in that regard in my eyes. So thanks so much for watching. This is Ophelia Jr., Squired, Juuku, all of us signing out. Peace.